Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Thursday, March 11th, 2021. And we begin with this weekend potentially becoming the last time Americans ever spring forward. A group of 8 bipartisan senators has reintroduced a bill to make daylight saving time permanent. And yes, saving is singular, not plural. If enacted, the Sunshine Protection Act of 2021 would put an end to the twice-yearly time shifts, which have a tendency to upset body clocks, not to mention all the other clocks in the house. Proponents of the change, like Scott Yates, whose hashtag #LockTheClock is gaining popularity, calls the semi-annual time change barbaric. In addition to giving kids an extra hour of playtime outdoors, studies have shown more daylight would result in fewer car accidents, reduced childhood obesity, and improved general health overall. Those opposed have expressed concern over kids waiting for the morning school bus in the dark. Daylight saving time begins Sunday at 2 a.m. Nobody likes a line cutter, especially when it comes to getting the coronavirus vaccine. One state, Alaska, has solved that problem by opening eligibility to all residents 16 and older. As for when those under 16 could get their shot, President Biden announced a deal yesterday to buy an additional 100 million doses of the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine by the end of the year, with the goal of making them available to kids. Today marks the first anniversary of the World Health Organization declaring COVID-19 a pandemic. And after a year of shutdowns and job losses, millions of families are still struggling financially. Yesterday, Congress approved landmark legislation to help get Americans back on their feet. The $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief bill is headed to President Biden's desk, and he's expected to sign it tomorrow. If you're eating breakfast right now, you might want to put down your spoon or fork. Earlier this week, a Hollywood stuntman pulled off what may go down as one of the grossest stunts in recent memory. Hunter Ray Barker sat in a plastic pool filled with bean dip for 24 hours straight. To his credit, it was for a good cause, not to mention one close to his heart and stomach. The thick, creamy bath took place at a block party to support Los Toros Mexican restaurant in Chatsworth, California. It's a local institution and one that struggled to stay open during the pandemic. Over the years, Barker has spent countless nights at the eatery and calls the restaurant's bean dip his favorite. He acknowledges that the stunt was wild, absurd, and ridiculous, but he's hoping that his antics will attract new, lifelong customers. Astronauts at the International Space Station will someday soon get new neighbors. China and Russia have announced they're joining forces to build an international lunar research station. It may be on the surface of the moon or just a few space blocks away from the current one. They're still working out the details. Over the past 2 decades, China has been ramping up its interstellar exploration with successful probes to the moon and Mars. When this new space station begins operation, Russia will have a dual presence in the stars. Its space agency is also one of the 5 partners in the ISS, along with Japan, Europe, Canada, and the U.S. Tiger Woods could be released from the hospital in the next week or so. That's according to Rory McIlroy, one of Woods' best friends on the PGA Tour. McIlroy told late-night host Jimmy Fallon that he's spoken to the legendary golfer, who is doing better after multiple surgeries following his serious car accident. He also shared that Woods even ribbed him a bit via text following McIlroy's less-than-awesome performance at a tournament this past weekend. That's it for KidNuz. If you want to be part of our KidNuz Club, just sign up in the extra credit section on our website for birthday shoutouts, weekly word games, and more. Plus, it's free. Now, our KidNuz quiz. Which state is first in the U.S. to let all of its residents 16 years and older get a COVID vaccine? Alaska. What 2 countries are teaming up to build another space station? China and Russia. A bipartisan group of U.S. senators is sponsoring a bill to do what? Make daylight saving time permanent. How long did a Hollywood stuntman sit in a pool filled with bean dip? 24 hours straight to support his favorite Mexican restaurant. In One for the Road, Justin Kolbaika has had a lifelong fascination with snakes, even going so far as to hide them in his college dorm room. So it's no surprise that he grew up to be a professional snake breeder. For the past 8 years, his focus has been on designing ball pythons with specific color combinations, but his latest creation not only caught him by surprise, it's also become an internet sensation. A white serpent with 3 bright yellow smiley face emojis on its body. His creative misfire turned out to be a lucrative snake. A common ball python sells for around $30. The price tag for this one, $6,000. Before we go, it's time to say a big hello to our fabulous KidNuz teachers and their classrooms. Mrs. McConkey at Spoon River Valley School in London Mills, Illinois. Ms. Kate Thompson at Northeast Woodland Charter School in Freedom, New Hampshire. Mrs. G at Conway Junior High in Conway, Arkansas. Mrs. Rybeck running the library at Lake City High in Lake City, South Carolina. Mr. Strungsteline at Cumberland Elementary in Cumberland, Wisconsin, whose class starts each morning out with KidNuz. Thanks to everyone for listening, and we hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.